Don't make sense going to heaven with the goodies dressed in white. I like black Timbs and black hoodies. And then before I even got the chance to even finish the line, she finished the line for me.
God entrusted you with one of the most amazing things, the most sophisticated machines in the world. That's called the human body. Your body is not yours. God gave it to you to borrow, and part of that deal is that you've got to take care of that body.
The reason why I don't smoke or I don't do drugs, thank God, I don't like being on a different level. I like to be in control.
A lot of the kids, they see their parents taking the drugs in front of them.
Also true.
So, hey, my dad does it.
Right.
I'm also gonna do it.
In my head, it's like, am I really gonna, just for that 4 or 5 seconds or 5 minutes, 10 minutes of pleasure, gonna maybe die? No, I'm not gonna do that to myself.
Yeah. Millions of people have failed. What makes you think that you have the magic sauce that the billion-dollar companies didn't figure out how to get you addicted?
Because everyone thinks they can control themselves.
Hashem, I love getting high, but I don't love that I love getting high. Please, Hashem, help me stop. And eventually, Hashem helped him stop.
The only cure to addiction
is God.
We never found any rabbi ever saying that it's okay for a person to get high.
I just want you to know that I want to go to a place where I'll find you, a place I call home, a place where I'm not alone. And maybe I'll grow just a little bit more, and I'll be adored. Then I'll be adored.
We are back with another episode of the Kosher Controversy Podcast. It's been a while. We want to apologize. We're all very busy, but we have a lot of demand. Thank God. Everyone's always asking us when's the next episode. We're gonna try to bring more. We're trying to make the logistics work. But today we have a very important and sensitive conversation. We have the usual panel: myself, Daniel, Michael, and my dear brother Ilya. Which I want to say you look very sharp today.
Wow.
You look very spiffy. I want to give you your props.
Came from an event, but whatever.
Every day's an event when you're a son of God. And I'm going to let Mike introduce our very special guest.
We have a special guest today with many nicknames. Moshe Tzaddik, Moshe Kadosh, the Rebbe, and also the sandak of my son. I actually have 2 sandaks over here.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
one sandak of my third son, second son. So I think my son was your first.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
He was supposed to be a witness at your wedding. He came late.
Yeah.
As usual. It's a Persian thing.
The Bahrain thing also.
Persians and Bahraians are very close.
Yeah, but I think the lateness, I think the Persians take the cake on that.
But
Today you were earlier than Ilya.
But Rebbe Moshe is very special to me. I met him when I first started to come shul. He pushed me in Torah. He pushed me in my love with God that we spoke in another episode. I didn't give you props in that episode, but here you are. I can give you the props today. Just watching you daven in shul with the heart, the soul, actually motivated me to always do the same. Danny as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
The Lechadodis.
Yeah, that was...
I still remember them. This was in 2010, 2011. And that still has an impact on me. So
Still resonates.
That helped me keep Shabbat. You gave us all a fire, a flame. So thank you. Thank you so much.
He's also one of the reasons my kids go to yeshiva and not public school. So that's a story. Yeah, that's a story we're going to share.
But we didn't always listen to him. He told us not to go to Birthright. We still went.
But we changed people at birthday. Okay. We were like...
Yeah, we did kiruv there.
But what I want to say, he is a big part of the kiruv in our community with the youth, and he's always surrounded by youth. Every time you see Moshe, you could always see some young guy with him. Moshe, I love you, Moshe, thank you so much. So that's a big thing, and we want you to introduce yourself a little bit.
I don't have what to say. I'm only here because out of respect for Mike and Danny, and you guys asked me to come, so I came.
How long you guys know each other?
Since 2011.
You guys also know each other, my brother.
We know each other from back in the day.
Hope it's a good experience.
No, he knows a lot of my close friends also, who were off the derek, let's say. And around 175 days, for our sales days, and we would always see him, and they basically introduced me to him. And it's like the first time I saw him, it's like he spoke to me like he knew me for 10 years. Gave me a hug. I'm like, oh, what is this guy doing? And then I understood who he was. And then, off the moment, I understood he was a genuine guy, and it's like he puts himself before he puts other people before himself.
I don't think there's one time I've seen you where you didn't hug me.
Yeah.
I think actually, in regards to the conversation today, I think the hugs
not drugs. You know, I have a T-shirt, you know, that someone got me. It's a hug dealer, and I think you know that's.
So I'm actually happy I said that now. So
yeah. So I think that, you know, yeah, as into the conversation. So
Perfect segue.
yeah, I guess so.
So the topic we want to talk about today, if you didn't figure it out yet, is drugs, drug use
In our
Torah
community.
in general, drug use in our particular community. It's become a growing problem. It's a very sensitive topic, and it's very easy to come and lash out at it, how it's bad, it's terrible, but we want to sort of, you know, dissect it, break it down. What are the sources? What can be done? Why is this issue happening? And what sort of productive solutions can we think of? Because just talking about how it's a problem and not offering anything about it is not really helping the problem. As Moshe said before, we started the podcast. So I think we should start with the idea of, you know, obviously the Torah says, "Ushmartem me'od nafshotechem," very famous verse that says you have to very much take care of yourself, of your soul, your body. Different interpretations what that word could mean, but basically yourself. God entrusted you with one of the most amazing things, the most sophisticated machines in the world. That's called the human body. Right? Your body is not yours. God gave it to you to borrow in order to create for yourself in this world and build yourself the next world. And part of that deal is that you've got to take care of that body. Anything you do that damages that body is a violation of the Torah, in essence, right? So,
And how much more so things that damage more the soul and the mind.
Absolutely.
So whereas there are some drugs that hurt the body more, you know, but drugs in particular is mostly it's a mind thing. And, you know, it really messes up the mind. So part of Mishmat Amad Nafshotechem is the nefesh. The nefesh, you know, is also, you know, that goes to the seichel, and how much more so the neshama that has to be guarded. You know, I think one of the major problems of drug use in our community has a lot to do with the music that we listen to.
Wow.
Oh. That you know, people growing up now, it's not a new thing that in hip hop culture, you know what I mean,
right.
Which is the most prevalent culture, you know, in our Seviva, in our surroundings, that drugs is glorified on the highest caliber, you know what I mean? No matter how far back you go. I remember me growing up, you know, listening to Biggie and Pac, whatever the case was, and all the rappers, you know.
Yeah.
I have 5 blunts left tonight. I'm set tonight, you know, like, you know.
it's a trophy they wear.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, who could smoke more? You know what I mean? And people got nicknames like Iron Lung because, you know, you can smoke more and this and so on and so forth. And that's a big thing. And I mean, whenever you listen to, you know, this type of music, whatever they glorify, we start to glorify as well. I remember during COVID, there was this one Baharian girl called me, and nice, sweet Baharian girl. She calls me and goes, Moshe, I don't want to marry Baharian. I said, okay. I said, you know, so what do you want? She goes, I want to be sitting in the back with some brothers in the back of a convertible, smoking a fat blonde.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I hear you, you know, like, okay. And I asked her, I go, do you remember that line that goes, when I die, F it, I want to go to hell, because I'm a piece of ish, it ain't hard to
Tell.
I'm sorry, it don't make sense going to heaven with the goodies dressed in white. I like black Tims and black hoodies. And then before I even got the chance to even finish the line, she finished the line for me. Now she's like maybe 20 years younger than me. The fact that you know a song from 1994, 95, you know, 96 scares me, you know. You 20 years younger than me and you know a song from before you were even born. And from all the songs, like that's the song, you know what I mean? Suicidal Thoughts. And then what is he saying in that song? When you really think about it, it's beautiful, it's catchy, and we love Biggie. He talks about, you know,
Leilu Nishmat, yeah.
Leilu Nishmat, yeah. You want to hear something really stupid?
If it's funny, it'll be real.
It's hilarious. And I had a guest over on Shabbos, and he goes, oh yeah, it's Rosh Chodesh, it's Monday. He goes, yeah, it's June 16th. I go, how do you remember that? Because usually, you don't know the Jewish one. He goes, oh, because it's Pac's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Birthday or death day?
Pac's birthday.
Okay.
So that's how he remembers the Jewish Rosh Chodesh, you know what I mean? It's Pac's birthday. You know, so, and then not only that, he had a tattoo on his arm
also a line from Tupac. So you see the influence that the music has on the soul,
Right.
And music is a very spiritual thing. And I remember growing up, my rabbi used to tell us that whenever Hashem, created the different levels of chachma and wisdom and art in the world, the highest is obviously the Torah, but below that is music. Music is the most spiritual thing. So whenever we take such a spiritual thing and we infuse it with stupidity, sex, drugs, murder, how many songs talk about killing this guy and killing that guy, and
Weapons,
it's glorified, right? For every check I deposit, it's another burner in the closet.
You know what that means, right?
I don't know these things.
Yes, I do.
You have to
yeah.
educate me on this.
No, better you don't know.
I know.
I'm telling you, when we were in high school, it wasn't really Biggie and Tupac. It was
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne was a big one. Young
It
Money.
was Young Money.
Eminem.
Drake.
Eminem.
That
Drake.
line was Jadakiss, but well, let's take Eminem for example, right? Psychopath, right?
He has a song, Psychopath Killer. Also.
You can't go about speaking ish about his mom, his baby
daughter,
mama,
his daughter.
his daughter, and even Pac, even though he's a crack fiend, mama, you always were a black queen. Like it's so nice you wrote a song about your mother, but why you gotta tell the world that she was a crack fiend? That's not nice. But people, and because it's such a nice song and every other word is so nice, whenever you have those little drops of poison that come in, they go under the radar.
And it's on repeat.
Sure. So in that song, we said, doesn't make sense going to heaven with the goodies dressed in white, black Tims. I rather wear black Tims and black hoodies. You took heaven, and it goes, nah, heaven's not good. You know what's good? Shooting dice and toting guns.
Yeah. Flipped it around.
Ghetto life is good. You know what I mean? Thug life is good. Which I'm not saying that, but in comparison to heaven, so you took heaven and you made heaven look like garbage, and you took that type of lifestyle and you made that part into heaven. Yeah. So we listen to them and it goes in, and we don't realize how deep it goes into our minds and into our blood, into our soul, into our bones, and it becomes a big problem. So whenever we see all these guys and whatever they're
and
they're successful and they're driving the Lambos, and so on and so forth, and they're potheads, you know what I mean? And they're crackheads, one of the kids tells me songs that I don't know, Baruch Hashem, maybe your age, Miley, Percocet, so I don't know exactly how it goes, and maybe maybe you guys could help.
Is that a newer song?
I think so,
I don't know the new ones.
That's Future, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know the verse, but that's...
Yeah, okay, whatever, so whatever. It's all about, drugs and
women and drugs.
And more drugs and more drugs.
Okay,
and
so
more
the
drugs.
culture.
Yeah,
You gotta control the culture that's around you. That's your main
Well, how many times in this podcast we said the people you surround yourself is the most important, and
Absolutely.
Thank God, when I was growing up, I was surrounded by people like Danny, Yosef, well, even you.
Oh, that means bro.
And that's how we created this environment that was not, even though we did have friends who did use drugs recreationally, like they said, not medicinally.
They knew not to even offer it to us.
Man, that's
Because
like
we were
this.
gonna be like, get that thing out
I'll
of
tell you
my
one
face.
thing. I'll tell you one thing. Growing up, especially that they're a little bit older than me, the generations have definitely changed year after year. Like, in their generation, God forbid someone even smoked a cigarette. You would look at them as a rashai, like, oh my God, he's smoking a cigarette. What is he doing? But now it's like not even generations younger than me. It's like the newest thing now.
I see
sorry,
13,
let me
14 with a vape. And it looks like a USB.
This
and
is
I'm
nothing
like,
new. There's always been 13, 14-year-olds smoking. Most of our dads started smoking 13, 14.
That's different. They come from Soviet Russia.
I disagree with you. I'll tell you why. Because it's all about what he just said. The people you put yourself around. You just took the whole generation and put it in one cup.
No, I'm not putting it in a
It's not
generation.
true. Hold on. It's about the people. I know people in your generation who are more religious than us. Kids who are learning Torah all day.
Oh, yeah, but
Your age. It's all about who you put yourself around. I'm telling you, it's what you expose
All I'm
yourself
saying is because we didn't grow up from or we didn't grow up religious, our childhood was much different than the childhood now. Much different. Back in the day,
Maybe digitally, yes.
No, yeah, exactly. And digitally is a big thing. We didn't have Instagram and Facebook back in the day. We didn't have we had LimeWire or iTunes. You had to download a song for 3 weeks to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I would tell you,
illegally.
Yeah, I would tell you I would steal your iTunes file. It would take like 2 days just to load up on whatever phone I had that day.
So now he's saying everything's more accessible.
Everything is more accessive, and it's
I feel like also with drugs they are more accessible now. Before it was much harder to get. I feel
Could it be because we're also like we have more money now? Everyone as like.
I don't think it has to do with money.
Because why not?
I think it has to do with
because I told you, when you're comfortable, when you have money, you're comfortable, and you don't have a true sense of belonging,
happiness,
like true spiritual, connection to the right thing. Your soul is going to search for something else to fill that void.
Artificial.
So that's the thing. So see, that's the thing. The point is that you need to fill the void. So first of all, it is the culture and the things that we listen to that has a lot to do with it. And they glorify it to us as youngsters, or the youngsters today. They grow up and see the Lambo and they see the the marijuana. And they put the two together. They think if you have this, you have to have that. And if you have this, then you're gonna get that. If you're smoking weed, the same thing. Whenever you have a Newport commercial, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The prettiest people, you know what I mean, with the prettiest smile. No, I'm sorry. If you're smoking cigarettes, although you don't have the prettiest smile, you know what I mean?
I can vouch for that.
That's how you know Moshe hasn't watched TV in a long time. There's no Newport commercials anymore.
You see the banners on the side of the highways, whatever.
No, because now it's illegal. They can't. I don't think you're allowed to advertise. Nicotine. I don't think you're allowed to advertise.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't watch TV like that, but I haven't seen a nicotine anything in a long. Before you used to see Marlboro everywhere, right? What was that? Newports? What was that? The whole thing.
Marlboro.
Yeah. Okay. So then you put why they put two together. Every beer commercial is always half naked girl or whatever it is. Right. You know what I mean? So that means that if I'm drinking this beer, then I'm gonna pick up the half naked chick as well. And if I'm smoking the cigarette, I'll have the life at the beach. And if I'm smoking bud, I'll have the Lambo like Lil Wayne. And it goes. And that's I'm saying that's what advertisement is meant to do. Mm-hmm. That's what these commercials are meant to do. That's what the marketing whole situation is. So and then the sad thing is that we and the youngsters, they get caught up into that trap. They don't know how to differentiate between that's a Lambo and that's poison. You know what I mean? And this is the guns are not good, but this is good. They don't know how to differentiate. They put it onto one pool, and then it becomes people get messed up in the head. And that's one of the major problems. So if we're able to change the music that we listen to, right? First of all, those bad influences won't penetrate. Second of all, if you listen to holy music, you're already feeling uplifted and you're feeling awesome. You're feeling geschmack, and you're not gonna want to turn to older things. You'll be addicted to good music instead of to bud and to everything else. I remember when there was one song. If this song came on the radio, and I was in the middle of driving, I could easily kill anybody if they played this, like it was a song of The Offspring, and it was a very angry song, and you couldn't listen to it without getting enraged. And I think people like with Eminem also, right? And Stan, and all these, that you can't, it has a really major effect on you emotionally, mentally, and your aspirations in life and things like that. And then their aspirations become your aspirations, and then that creates a huge, confusion in the young person's mind. So that's one of the major problems. The other problems is the phones. It's, if I'm not mistaken, I believe psychologically or whatever it is, however you want to look at it, there's a part in the brain whenever a person is addicted to anything,
it's dopamine,
that part of the brain of addiction opens up, and it's like in a way almost impossible to close that up. It creates new neurons and new receptors and new pathways in the brain.
Can you replace it with something else?
So you have to, right? You have to. So a lot of people I know who used to be, let's say, addicted to heroin, the gym became their new, their new drug, and Torah, you know what I mean, became their new drug.
That's the best one.
I have one guy, I'm telling you, very close to him. He calls me almost every day, and he's finished 7, if I'm not mistaken, 8 Gemaras so far, and he pounds halacha.
He used to be a drug addict?
Yeah, we got him situated, and today, Baruch Hashem, he's clean, and it's amazing. It's a very beautiful. He died 3 times in 4 days.
What do you mean died?
Overdose.
Yeah, overdose. He was like pronounced dead, and then they gave him the epinephrine and the
Narcan.
Narcan. They were able to bring him back to life.
3 times in 4 days.
Yeah, 3 times in 4 days.
And the one was he got into a car accident on Saturday, driving right in front of Booth Memorial. Lucky bastard. So and he died by the wheel, and then he got into a car accident. They took him across the street to Booth Memorial. So over there, they revived him. He goes to the bathroom. He takes his neck sack out and starts is walking in the bathroom of the hospital. So
how does someone get to that state? Right, no one's taking heroin on the first day, right? So how does?
So this particular guy, actually, know this. He first started smoking pot in high school.
So that's what I want you to talk about.
He first started smoking pot in high school, and then one day his drug dealer didn't have bud, so he goes, "But I have something else if you're interested," And also growing up, heroin was a little bit more. It was much more like taboo. You had to go get the get the syringe and roll up your sleeve and know how to shoot a needle and the yellow band. And nowadays, people just take Oxy, and it's heroin. Oxy is heroin. It's the same ingredients. It's
opioid.
It's an opioid, and if not, so you just pop a pill. Or you could smoke it, I don't have to tell you exactly how it's done, but they put it under a piece of aluminum, and the smoke that comes out of it with the lightning, and they inhale that, they get high right away, and so that's it.
So most of these people start with pot, you could say?
Yeah, listen, marijuana is for sure a gateway drug. No one woke up in the morning and said, today I'm gonna, try heroin, right? Yeah. Roll up my sleeve and start injecting myself.
They're basically saying is that the weed eventually doesn't do the job that they wanted to do, and they go on to the next level.
As it is with all addictions, and it becomes more.
Your body becomes accustomed to whatever you're taking, and then you need more of that thing in order to get a certain high, right? But like as a nurse, I'm talking right now. Yeah. But then once that high is no longer good for you because it's not enough.
Your body becomes tolerant.
Tolerant, exactly. It's the same thing like with antibiotics, with ibuprofen, Tylenol.
Higher dose.
Yeah, you need higher doses of it to feel the same effect that you had on the lower dose before.
So I've heard from weed smokers that weed is not addictive and they could control it.
No,
is that true?
That's bull.
So I think there's two things, and I think this gets swept under the rug.
I challenged them and said, okay, don't smoke weed for a week. He couldn't do it.
Right. So because one thing is physical addiction, and the other thing is also the emotional, psychological, mental addiction to it. So then when most people talk about addiction, they're only talking about the physical addiction. The withdrawal symptoms that a person has from not having nicotine, they feel like their throat is closing up, or withdrawal symptoms a person has from heroin, and they get sick and they feel like they're about to die, and that's why it's very hard to stop because the withdrawal symptoms are very severe. With marijuana, you might not have that because it's not physically addictive, but you're psychologically addicted to it, and you're emotionally addicted to it. You don't know how to have a normal conversation with people unless you're high, because that's the you that you've been for so long. You don't know how to relate and how to do anything anymore.
Well, Moshe, we had friends when we used to hang out. Before we ate, we would say a blessing on the meal. They would have to go smoke.
We all had friends like that.
That's how they were. They were so addicted.
That was the pre.
It makes them hungry. It makes them hungry. And they enjoy the food.
Your
more.
body gets hungry naturally.
No. They're used to munchies at this point. Which is, by the way, some of the places in the community, some kosher establishments. I'm not attacking the hashgacha, but they figured out how to monetize this. They're open till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because all the guys with munchies are going over there, paying out their bank accounts to get a fresh burger. You know what I mean?
I wanted to open up a pizza store at one point, and I spoke to this rabbi. Rabbi says, under one condition, I'll give you my blessing. You promise me it's going to be closed by 9 p.m.
Wow.
and I didn't understand him then.
Wow.
And now I understand him. Because that's all
So you want to tell me all these kosher spots make money?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
what he told me.
I get it, yeah.
I'm just saying what he told me. That's all I'm saying. There's something too.
Thank God I didn't enjoy the scene, but I know people that when they go clubbing, right, and there's people over there. What are they doing? They're drinking. First they're drinking, right, and then they're losing their inhibitions. So what do they do from there? There's people literally on the dance floor, from what I was told, handing out, what is that called? Those little pills? Not only that.
Perks?
No, the other ones.
Tusi?
Ecstasy?
X. And they, take one, the music, with the techno and the do-do-do in the background. This is going to take you to that next level.
Devil, honestly. It's going to take you to that. I don't know how to take me like that.
So it's also, like you said, when it's not only because you don't have nothing to do or something like that. You're doing weed, but also depends on your environment.
Again, back to the environment, back to the music.
Exactly,
and
it's like the weed is not good enough at that point. You need ecstasy because, and also it's also the social pressure. You're in front of this guy. Let's say you're in the club with a girl, and now she takes that ecstasy. Oh wait, she's taking. How am I not gonna take it? I'm gonna look like a bum in front of her, and then
the moment you stepped into the club, you lost. Okay.
That's not true. Should have been there to begin with.
What do you mean that's not true? How are you going to
It's one of the worst ideas possible.
We're not talking about if it's a Vader or not.
Let me help you out here. Yeah. Okay. We don't like to talk so much about Gehenna. Okay, but just real quickly. Okay. There's like 7 levels to Gehenna, right?
Okay.
There's the bottom, lowest one is the place that you don't get out of. Okay. So there's 3 sins that could get you there. Okay. Just 3. Okay. Chilul Hashem, wasting seed, and bringing another Jew to sin. Going to a club guarantees you all 3. Okay. Yeah. It's a for sure Chilul Hashem. You're going with your boys, right? You're not going. So it's a Chilul Hashem in front of your fellow Jewish brothers, okay? And
if you're going with your friends,
you're going alone. Then you're not. But you're not going alone. You never went alone. You never will go alone.
He never goes.
No, I'm not saying you. I don't mean you, but I'm just saying. Most of the people we know.
At least 3 times a week.
Well, most of the people we know, okay? And the situation.
Shavuot does light work for me.
I got you. Okay, and then and then it's bringing other Jews to sin. So that's that. That's pretty serious. So as far as the club scene goes, there you go.
Besides it being in a Vero, let's put that aside just for 1 second, right? Yeah. The club, the women, whatever, all that good stuff.
Worst,
all that bad stuff, I should say.
Okay, the worst.
All that bad stuff, I should say.
The worst stuff, yeah.
I don't think my personal opinion, it's all about the people you're around, right? I've personally been, I'm not going to hide it. I was young. I've been to clubs a bunch of times. I had that life in the past, and we're there with a lot of people, and a lot of them were doing these things, whether it was drugs, whether it was women or whatnot, and that didn't affect me. That didn't want it to.
Your father.
It doesn't look like that.
No, your father. I would never do it.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Me personally, the reason why I don't smoke or I don't do drugs, thank God, or for the most part smoke, is because I don't know, maybe you call it anxiety or something, but I don't like being on a different level. I don't like for my mind is going. Yeah, I like to be in control.
Right, it's beautiful. There's some people who can't stand that because their control or whatever it is, it means it gives them trauma of their controlling father, or gives them traumas of their.
Right.
So for them, they need to lose control in order to feel alive. So then it becomes a problem. But also, I just want to, as far as it didn't affect you, there were a lot of Jews who survived the Holocaust. That doesn't mean that it was a good place to be. Just because you survived. You know what I mean? You're one of the few who survived. Doesn't mean that's the place to hang out.
This is like Rabbi Mizrahi.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm telling you the truth to your face.
No, I understand. The way I look at it, I don't want to say weak person because I'm not trying to offend anybody, but
Wait, weak person who takes drugs?
It takes a lot to take the drug. That's the way I look at it. It takes a lot to take the drug.
My experience has been those people who do take drugs, they're usually the most sensitive souls, kind souls. They're emotionally sensitive,
but also easily manipulated. No?
But maybe because they're so sweet and so good inside, and they have a different idea of what reality should be. They want reality to be this place of
utopia, right? Like this idealistic view on society.
Happy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is again, whenever that's a good thing to have. But whenever the culture tells us the way to achieve that don't make sense going to heaven with the goodies. Just the way to achieve that goodness, the heaven. Yeah, he took heaven and made heaven garbage and made garbage heaven. And I just want to feel heaven. So if you tell me that's the new heaven, that garbage is the new heaven, then that's what I'll subscribe to that. I'll subscribe to anything that you tell me is heaven because I want to go to heaven, but I also want to experience heaven here now. So everyone who goes that route, they're not bad people. They're all good people. Okay, sometimes they're too good, and because they're too good and they're so good, it's easy for them to fall because they're looking up instead of looking here. And whenever you look up, it's easy to trip and to fall.
So growing up, I'll speak very honestly. I had many opportunities to do drugs. Because I went to public school. It's not like I grew up in yeshiva.
We all did.
We all did.
Knew every dealer in the school.
But also, we also grew up on the streets at one point. We were playing ball outside, this, that, whatever, chilling, this, that, before I met Moshe, But I honestly, always held back, one, because of my anxiety, I was always afraid of losing control of myself. And then number two, I feared my father. So I feel
Well,
like I feel like
course.
that's a big thing. The
As a
parents,
kid, yeah.
like my father always had open conversations with me. He told me, son, I understand it's out there. I know it's going to be impossible for me to control everything that you do outside of my four walls, but I'm telling you, please don't do that.
I talk to my kids now about it as well.
I know my
oldest kid is
father
10.
never made me scared. Like
I already started
scared to
telling
come
him,
to him about
anyone
drugs.
ever
Actually,
offers you something, don't tell them right away. Run away.
my father always came to me and said he talked to me about it because he was afraid of being too strict with it, where I would go try to do it behind his back on purpose. But he always like, listen, if you really want to try something, come to me. I'll help you. But. I'd rather you do it, even with cigarettes. He told me, you want to try cigarettes? Do it with me. My father used to smoke, So that's why I feel like a parent's purpose, I feel also, they have to educate their kids, not just don't do it and that's it.
I don't think the scare tactic works
Yeah,
now like it did on us, because again, our parents are very Soviet, so it's a different upbringing. But even now, I don't think the scare tactic even works in these kids anymore.
It could work.
He's not talking about a scare tactic.
He's talking about letting your parents down.
Yeah,
As a parent, showing your child that you're here for them.
My father didn't use scare tactic. He actually showed me like opposite, exactly. Come to me. We'll talk about it, but I don't want you to just go do it outside. Because remember, 6 years ago, we had a crazy epidemic of drug overdoses where every week you would see some kid dying from a drug overdose. Right. And my father was afraid of stuff being laced years before that. Because he's like, you don't know what you're taking out there. You could be told you're taking this, but you'll be taking something else. And next thing you know, you're done.
Yeah,
and in my head, it's like, am I really gonna, just for that 4 or 5 seconds or 5 minutes, 10 minutes of pleasure, gonna maybe die? No, I'm not gonna do that to myself. Yeah. So yeah, people have to be educated that, especially when you're getting stuff illegally, that you might not be getting what you're offered. We had a friend who, he thought he was buying weed. And he went on vacation, he thought he was buying like tree barkings or something like that. Because they were selling him fake stuff. And then when he opened it, he understood that it was like, it's not drugs, it's some kind of weird stuff. And he just spent $400 or $500 on complete garbage. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like education is very important, and not hiding from it.
Right.
People are afraid to talk about it. I don't understand why people are afraid to talk about it. I feel like we should talk about it.
It is taboo a little bit. Some of the parents don't want to talk about it because they don't want to talk about how they themselves used to or used to not, or whatever it is. That's one thing. And the other thing is sometimes it's just a door you don't want to open. If it's a door that was never opened, then it's easy to sweep it on, to
Super under the rug, yeah.
Yeah,
but most kids
but we live in a society where that door is always open.
You're not going to open, somebody else will.
One of the things that you talk about your relationship with your father and your parents, that's one of the major problems we have in our community. Divorces are throughout.
We're going to dedicate another episode to divorce.
Yeah. No, but you have to know where it goes. You know what I mean?
But this, you're saying it's in the same basket.
Yeah, 100%. Because then a lot of the kids,
a lot of them come from
they do, but they will go shalom bayit. So just because the parents didn't get divorced, that doesn't mean there was no yelling and screaming and fighting. Sometimes in the best case scenario, thank God they were divorced. You know what I mean? Some of the ones who stayed together is a bigger problem. I'm not an advocate for divorce by any. I'm just saying that the family nucleus and the family situation and the child feeling safe and happy has a lot to do with the problem. Like we said before, hugs, not drugs. So a lot of people who are going towards drugs is because they didn't get the hugs whenever they were younger. And that's really, 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 I guess, the main source of the problem.
Yeah.
So you felt your father loved you whenever you had that conversation when he was open with you. It wasn't so much the conversation, it was the relationship and the love and that connection you guys had at that moment that he was able to have that.
Well, I feel like he didn't treat me like a kid.
But a lot of fathers don't have that with their kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of mothers don't have that with their kids. And that becomes a problem. So
Also, sorry to cut you off, but a lot of the kids, they see their parents taking the drugs in front of them.
Also true.
So, okay, my dad does it.
Right.
I'm also going to do it.
Right, also true. Right.
His dad, it was
saying.
Also true.
Drugs or cigarettes? I don't think parents just
both. They did both.
People smoke weed.
Okay, then those are like really good parents. And
it's crazy.
And even the kids still know, even if the parents try to keep it away from them, the kids know.
Well, that's the thing right there.
are we considered marijuana?
I'm driving my kid to school, and I see a parent from a different school. He's also driving his kid to school. Because the day he was going, it was a certain time of that certain day. He's smoking a J. The kid's in the back seat.
So what do you want? That's
Holy moly!
Actually, funny,
bro.
this
Drop off your kid first.
This past Shabbat, all jokes aside, this past Shabbat, I was in Vlijpark for when my kids on Shabbat, and we're now going home, and there's girls playing softball. So one of the families parked the car, and the girls were coming out of the back car, and the mother, she comes out of the driver's seat, and she's smoking something. And at first, okay, she enjoyed it, but then when I pass by, I smell it's ganja, and I'm like, wow, she
What?
weed, ganja.
I never heard that.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah, so imagine she had.
I've heard of hashish, kasak. I've heard a bunch of different. Never
She had 3-4 girls in her car. She took them to the softball game, and she's smoking weed and openly.
She's making it a normal thing.
It's unfortunate. I know a lot of young guys who openly smoke with their fathers, and I would literally confront them. I said, "Yo, your dad's okay with you smoking in front of him? Like, do you feel comfortable smoking in front of him?" "Yeah, bro, my dad's my boy, bro." "Like, dad's your boy? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you want to do that, do it away from your father. Like, show some respect."
Well, I guess
you know?
they both, him and his father, have come to terms.
I don't know.
That
And
it's
then
okay, it's acceptable.
I guess some fathers use that line: if you're gonna smoke, smoke with me. If you're gonna drink, drink with me. And that's what happens. Then I don't know.
My question is to those guys that I know a few of them. Obviously, I'm not saying any names, who are living religious lifestyles, who are addicted to marijuana, and they're very embarrassed about it. Like, they don't do it in front of their kids. But I know, like, out of the few people that I know that smoke weed consistently, I don't know any of them who don't have family problems, like with their wife.
It creates a lot of shalom
It's like
It creates a lot of shalom.
you gotta choose at some point. Do you want to be happily married, or do you want to choose your drug?
Yeah, I know one guy who just ended up divorced. Yeah, he had a kid, and no way means necessary was the wifey trying to make peace with this guy, all because she found out he was smoking.
This was the
weed.
reason. That's it.
Yeah,
this
the
was
main
it.
thing. Yeah, and there's a lot of cases like that. I know someone that he was a pothead for many years.
Okay.
He started smoking around 17, and probably till whatever it was, and I asked him, how'd you stop? And he said, Rabbi, the truth is I love getting high. I love getting high. I can't see myself not getting high. I said to Hashem, if you show me that I can get high without weed, image, you got me.
Wow.
No doubt. So one day, I'm sitting in yeshiva, and told me which yeshiva it was, and I'm sitting there with that, and I have this book called The Garden of Emuna. Mm-hmm. And Rabbi, I don't know how to explain this to you, but you smoke a little bit, you get a little high right away, the world becomes different. Everything around you seems a little bit different right after you smoke something. And I remember after I learned maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes of that sefer, I went outside and the whole world was different. Mm-hmm. And it felt exactly the way I feel like whenever I'm high. And I said, awesome, Hashem, you gave it to me. This is what I asked for and you gave it to me. So what did he do? Even then, he told me he still had trouble stopping. It still wasn't easy until he prayed to Hashem again and again and again. Hashem, I love getting high, but I don't love that I love getting high. Mm-hmm. Please, Hashem, help me stop. And eventually, Hashem helped him stop. Hashem helped him stop.
You need divine intervention, pretty much.
Hashem, he's a weed-free today. So that's again. So back to hugs, not drugs, right? Books that talk about Emuna is the main thing, because what is Emuna? Emuna means Hashem loves me. All the other traumas that we have and things that we have, it's all because we felt, not loved. Or whenever you are reminded and you see that way Hashem was there the whole time, and Hashem was taking care of me the whole time, and everything that Hashem does is for the best, and Hashem loves me, it's easy to go back and to fix all those traumas. And so me to feel the hug from Hashem,
retroactive.
You get hugs, not drugs. Right, you go retroactive. I grew up without a father. My father passed away whenever I was 1 year old. Whenever I grew up, I don't know how to be a father to my kids. And it occurred to me, wait a minute, I had a father all along. Hashem was my father all along. So I'll just do for my children everything that Hashem did for me. Now I know how to be a father. Hashem did for me everything. Like I know how to be a father for my kids. I'll do everything with them. Hashem was always kind to me, even though no matter how many times I messed up, Hashem never cast me to the side.
Rav, let me ask you a question. So that person who told you about his experience, right? Eventually he found a connection with Hashem. But we can agree that those people who take the drugs, those kids who take the drugs, primarily are not getting the answers or the help, whether it's from their parents, whether it's from Hashem. So it's like, you know what? Oh, no one's helping me. Hashem's not answering my prayers.
Only the
I'm gonna go do this.
Let's spread Emuna again. Let's go back to all the religious people that spoke, right? You know, to be religious, you know, is beautiful. You know, you keep all the laws, but to miss the most important nikuda that makes a Jew is Emuna and Hashem. The person is missing that. You know, we could keep the laws, we could keep the details. You know, you could wear 500 pairs of tefillin, you know, on your head at once. But if you're missing the purpose behind it and the emunah and the connection with Hashem, the people who keep Torah mitzvahs, they don't really know who Hashem is. You know, they don't know Hashem is my loving Father.
But how is smoking weed going against my Emunah?
I'm just saying is that they're missing Emuna. They're missing the hugs. We'll call Emuna right now hugs, right? They're missing the hugs, so therefore they have to go to the drugs because they're missing the hugs. Emuna means I know that at every moment Hashem is hugging me. Look at this week's parsha. The Meraglim were big tzaddikim. Yes, big tzaddikim. They were on the same level as Kalev and Yehoshua. You know, you put them all together in the same boat. And then look what happened to them. What was the thing that was missing was the Emuna. That, you know, everything that they saw in the Holy Land was for their good. Oh, they saw people dying, but that was also for their good. They saw this, they saw that, they saw this. They translated everything as, no, that was negative, that was negative. Look at these big fruits, you know, there's giants over there, you know, it's terrible. Or you can say, wow, look at these big fruits.
We'll never go hungry again.
Yeah, we're chilling. You know, they said the grapes that they brought back, they used that for the, what's it called, Nesachim of the Mizbeach, the entire 40 years that were in the desert.
Oh, wow.
The wine that they used for all their korbanot was from the grapes that they brought back from the Meraglim brought back. That's pretty dope.
39 years.
Yeah, pretty amazing. You know what I mean? So there's ways you could look at it, you know. But if you don't have Emuna, no matter what it is that you see, you could keep the Torah. There's a lot that you could do, but you're missing what it means to be a Jew. And Hashem, you know, you see that he's more upset about this than he was about all the other things that happened before. Even whenever Jews messed up, and they, you know, like for example, at the end of the parsha, the Mekosher Eisim is breaking Shabbat, you know, and we take him, okay, and he's no longer with us. But you didn't see Hashem got angry at everybody and you're all gonna die in the desert. No, the person didn't avere. But whenever we hear it was an Emuna problem, Hashem
much deeper.
Yeah, how much longer you're not going to believe in me? You see all those words, and you open up things Tehillim chapter, maybe I think 78, 79, you're going to see that it talks about the Jews from the time they were in Egypt, the time they went to the Holy Land, and you see like, talks about, and I did this, and then you didn't believe me. I did this, and you didn't believe me. I did this, and you didn't believe me. Each time Hashem says in the last parasha, you tested me 10 times. And if you look to see what were those 10 tests, each one was right after Hashem did for us a favor. There were Jews like, but does he really love me? And Hashem did for him another favor. Does he really love me? Whenever the Jews crossed the Yam Suf, there were Jews that were waiting. Oh, so where the same God split it for us? He's going to split it for the Egyptians too. The Egyptians are still going to come and kill us. God gave us man, but what about this? God gave us this. What about that? Everything was always questioning Hashem. The number one thing forgetting the entire time was Hashem loves me. And if you don't know Hashem loves me, then you really missed out on what Hashem is, and you don't really know who Hashem is. It's nice, you kept the laws and you kept the details. It's very beautiful, but it's same like a child who comes home. He'll do all his chores, but he doesn't have a real relationship with his with his parent. That's not a healthy child. You know what I mean? Maybe sometimes that's not a healthy child. That's not a healthy upbringing. It's not a healthy relationship. So same thing over here with the Jew. You could do all your chores. You come home, you did your homework, you passed all your tests, but you didn't have a real relationship with Hashem. And I think that's where the problem begins. And that's because there's a lack of relationship, lack of love, lack of hugs, and then people go to drugs.
Well, Moshe, I want to talk about one thing, and I really want to talk about this part because I went through some struggles mentally, you know, and we spoke about right before we started shooting about how
shooting this, not
about depression, anxiety, family traumas, problems in your life, you know, how that could lead to drug use. But I just want to make something clear to the audience at home. That is a temporary band-aid on a very deep problem. And I feel like people who use drugs to escape their reality, because some people, they just don't want to feel what they feel You know what I mean? So they're willing to do anything.
Escape.
They don't want to face it. So.
To escape the pain. To escape. I'll tell you, honest story. And you saw me at my worst. You know, when I was going through my situation, I came to you, remember, one day crying. I was like, Rabbi Moshe, I need you. I remember he hugged me and he grabbed me. And, you know, he was trying to talk me out of it, you know. But how many times I wanted to just take a drug. I really wanted to do something just to make the pain go away. You know, but I didn't. You know why? Because I remember I was told, and he told me too, Mike, it's just going to be a temporary fix. It's just going to put a Band-Aid, but it's not really going to do what you need to be done. So there are a lot of people, like we spoke about, yes, they use drugs because they're severely depressed. They're anxious. They're always in a, unfortunately, pain. You know, unfortunately,
For the most part, they're
pain.
lost and what reality is. That's the way I look at it.
But it's not only that.
And they result to something that could evolve.
There are people who really suffer in this world, and they just want to not suffer. You know what I mean? But
Those are the drug users.
That's what I'm saying. I'll
Those
tell
are the
you,
severe drug users.
But drugs are not the answer. They're a temporary Band-Aid on a very deep issue. And if you're just going to use drugs, you're never going to solve that issue.
So what's the Torah's perspective on medicinal use? We have
First
to
of all,
address
I just want to say, I never met one, and never will I, or never will you ever meet a happy drug addict. For me, you know, which is interesting because the drug, rabbi, they make me happy. But I know you never seen a happy drug addict. No, you're high, you're not happy. Two different
That's
things.
funny.
You know,
That's so true.
If you're happy, you wouldn't need a drug.
Exactly.
Right.
So you know. So yeah, like you said, it's a temporary fix. It doesn't really fix a problem. Usually, it makes
It's
more.
a Tylenol.
But it makes more problems.
side effects.
Makes more problems down the line than it does fix anything. Medicinally, today I don't see any medicinal use for let's say THC per se. For example, if anything, maybe in the CBD. I'm not a marijuana expert, but today, but the different extractions that they've been able to extract, we're able to take out the medicinal things without getting high. The high part doesn't really have any medicinal use.
THC is what makes the person high, and CBD is a different ingredient within the same plant.
Right, so marijuana has a lot of different chemicals in it, right? One is the THC, CBD, CBN, CBG, there's different things.
He just said I'm not an expert in marijuana.
I'm not. No, there's only those you know, few that I know, but that I do know, you know. But
You're saying the medicinal purpose is you could fulfill it without getting high, if you want to use the medicinal parts of it.
if I'm not mistaken,
No, that is
So you know what happens to people?
But that's also that is just used as a reliever of the pain. Usually, whenever it's used medicinally,
It's for chronic pain or something like that.
but people don't get addicted to it, and it's easy to come off of it. For example, whenever a person goes into the doctor for surgery or whatever, they use morphine, they use fentanyl. Whenever my son was 3 days old and he had to have surgery, you know, and they had the fentanyl was used to keep him sedated while they did the surgery, right? But anyone who goes to surgery, they use all the sedatives and opiates and things like that. But you don't get addicted. I think there was a study that was done, and I think this is a very beautiful study. I think that, you know, it touches on this point very, very much at hand. I don't remember all the details. Maybe you guys heard of it. Maybe you guys will help me out. That they took a bunch of lab rats and they put them into two different environments. In one environment, they gave the rats or the mice, you know, plenty of water, plenty of food, plenty of toys and things like that, plenty of female rats, and whatever it was, and for the water, they had
It was laced
water laced with cocaine and regular water, and they had another group of lab rats where the environment was none of that fun stuff that the other guys got. It was just a very plain gray place. And they had the Coke water and they had the regular water. And in the not happy place, all of them became addicted to the
Coke.
And then they all died. And over there, they none of them became addicted to the Coke. They only were drinking the regular water, and they all lived happy rat lives, you know. And I think like that's the nikuda right.
I mean, you gotta fix your life,
You gotta fix your environment, right?
not get your fix of drugs.
Oh, there you go. Fix your life. Don't get fixed.
By the drug.
Yeah.
Fix
Don't
it
get
yourself.
fixed. Get fixed.
Well, fixing is also to For a fixing dog.
As men,
You, Rob, you would know this better because you speak to the, these people who need help. Those drug users or those massive, whatever, those big time drug users or people who have the problem. Do they come up to you and tell you, Rob, I have a problem? Or they say, Rob, I'm going through something. Does any drug user ever tell you I have a problem?
Not usually.
Right.
I guess he's
Not
asking how
usually.
many of them want to get off of it.
All of them want to get off.
I feel like a lot of them think that, you know what they say? Listen, I do it a few times a week. The guy over here does it every day, twice a day. I'm not a drug user. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
No, I'm not a drug addict.
Drug addict. sorry.
Yeah, I had someone who goes, I don't
saying?
smoke cigarettes, only 2-3 a day. I'm not a smoker.
And then before you know, God forbid, they OD. You know what I'm saying? So they look at the next person, they say, oh, I'm not as bad.
I knew someone like that in high school who every once in a while he would smoke a cigarette in certain social events. And I was close to him. I said, listen, why are you doing this? He's a very smart guy. I said, this is not good for you. So now, my personality, I'll never get addicted. You don't understand.
Yeah.
I can control. It's like, I just do it just to blend in, but now he smokes 2 packs a day.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what nicotine is. It's a drug. It has an effect on the person's body. And it's not whether you like it or you don't like it. Whether you like it or not. If you take
Thousands of
ibuprofen-
people have failed. Millions of people have failed. What makes you think that you have the magic sauce that the billion-dollar companies didn't figure out how to get you addicted?
Because everyone thinks they can control themselves. That's what it is. Everyone thinks they can control themselves. But the truth is, that's one of the reasons I never did it, because I know I wouldn't be able to control myself. That's why also I'm not a big fan of alcohol.
You know why I never did it? We all went to public school, but I remember we had a health class. You remember this health class? Or it was like a health teacher would come and take over the class for like 45 minutes, once a week, every other week. She was just like...
Oh, Mr. Don.
No.
Are you talking about?
That was high school.
Are you talking about
elementary kids?
Miss Kaplan.
Yes.
Kaplan.
That's
Miss Kaplan.
I don't have that.
funny thing is she was a smoker.
Yeah,
She was a smoker.
we would exercise and she would talk about drugs and she would say, just say no. But then we saw her outside after
With a
school.
cigarette.
I never saw her. You guys told me the story.
okay,
But I still remember, I don't know, maybe I was hypnotized from a young age. When she came in and she made us chant, just say no to drugs. That saying stuck in my head.
Really?
I still remember.
I could care less what they made it.
Just say no to drugs. That's it.
No, I just always saw drugs as like a destroyer and something that you would be addicted to. I didn't want to put myself in a situation to be addicted to something. Like even Tylenol, I don't take it unless I'm like really in pain.
It's not addictive.
I yell at it.
No,
like,
but I just I don't like to be reliant.
I
on
call him.
I
I,
know
like, I
people
have such a headache right now. I'm like taking.
I don't want to be reliant on something.
I know people.
I
I know people who are sick.
once.
But I don't want to have a headache either.
Yeah, but I'd rather go through it. Like
I know people who are sick and
I don't
infected
mind
and
going through it.
they have to be on antibiotics. I tell them, go take antibiotics. And they're like half dead at home.
Antibiotics is a little
They're like, nah, it's gonna ruin my liver. I can't. I'm like, but you're suffering. Take it for a few days. What's different about it?
Different.
No, it has a lot of side effects on your body. I'm telling you, the doctor.
They saying that it's
But
like
once in a while, not even taking every day.
Yeah, this is just a
But
headache.
again, now the
medicinally.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever you think these things medicinally, right, it doesn't have that effect on a person. It's once it becomes non-medicinally.
Recreational.
I broke my ankle around a year ago.
I remember.
And I went to the doctor.
They give you perks.
Ibuprofen, so he gave me the oxys, and it was very, very small dosage. And I remember as the ankle was getting better, I was gonna go take ibuprofen. I'm like, but let me reach for the oxy. But wait, I'm not in that much. And I noticed
There's
that
baggage with it.
I was going for it, not for the sake of pain. Then I'm like, whoa.
That's what happens to people.
that's what happens. That's how.
That's why. Thank you. Flush down the toilet.
So I'm a dentist. I deal with a lot of patients in pain. I almost never prescribe oxycodone or any of these controlled substances. I tell them, if you're in that much pain, ibuprofen, 800 every 8 hours.
And the oxy's never helped me. I have my back hurt. This only ibuprofen helped me.
Not only that, if that's not even helping you, ice. If that's not helping you, you alternate Tylenol and ibuprofen. That almost always works. So there's ways to reduce the pain without using these things.
Right. So same as whenever medicinally, I don't know each scenario, each case, but again, there's other ways to figure it out. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing it for? And the problem is, whenever it becomes something that also gets you high, it's easy to go from medicinal to recreational. And if you're not careful to draw that line, your person could be in really big trouble.
Rebbe, what about those people that say, I can't pray unless I'm high. I can't function unless I'm high. I don't know. I know.
Can't work unless I'm high.
Yeah, I know people who
So
they
again,
have to get high to just work.
So let's go back to Garden of Emuna. we have to start, giving out, those books by the millions, you know what I mean? And to learn about it and to teach about it,
It's too hard, people. They don't want to focus.
It's easier to smoke.
Yeah.
It's easier to get high.
No, but I'm saying
They don't want to think about interpreting the book.
I'm speaking also to the rabbinical party, if I may. I remember one time I was teaching Torah in a specific shul, and over there in that shul that we were teaching Torah, and there were many different tables, and whichever Rebbe you wanted to go to, whichever subject. This guy was doing Hilchos Shabbos, this guy was doing Hilchos Shuls, and I'm usually busy with Chassidus, Musar, and things of that nature. Not that we don't teach halakha and other stuff as well, but so the one time the Yetzer Hara is like, Moshe, look at you, you're such a loser.
Why?
Here you are teaching Musar. This guy, Tamir Chacham, Elchot,
Shulchan Aruch,
and the this and the that, and what about this, and this on the Hilchot Shabbat, and the this and that, but what about the this and the that? I'm like, wait a minute, bro. This guy's talking about Shabbat, which is beautiful, but Shabbat is only one day a week. This guy's talking about Nitel Idayim, that's beautiful, but how many times a day already you're watching Nitel Idayim? The foundations of Musar and Chassidus, which really focus on the person's Emuna, and the Shisham Mitzvot Hadirot, which is the 6 constant mitzvot. Where are those halachas written of the 6 constant mitzvot? That's the Musar books. Chovot halevavot is chovot, obligations of the heart, duties of the heart, right? So the same way we have duties, Shulchan Aruch, Nitel Idayim, and things like that, and Hilchot Shabbat. There's also duties when it comes to our Emuna and how we view Hashem, and we have to learn chovot halevavot. If you don't learn chovot halevavot, it's really hard to be a Jew, because those are the obligations of the heart. You might have done the action, but the heart wasn't there. And that's it creates a big rift between the person and his neshama, between himself and Hashem. He's missing a foundational point. So wait a minute, Moshe, you are learning halachas. Yeah, he's learning Hilchos Shabbos, he's learning Storytime. You're also learning halachas. You're learning halachas of Emuna with them, and halachas of Ahavas Hashem, and halachas of Yiras Hashem, and halachas of the oneness of Hashem, the halachas of Lo Tatu Rachel Lavchem, and all the other those mitzvot that nobody else does. I'm like, okay, I'm learning halachas. I'm good. Yeah. So, but we have to start teaching more and learning more about Emuna. And we have to make it a major focal point. And
so I think what you're saying is, sorry to cut you off, if I was to boil it down, we have to educate people to
get high without the drugs.
Exactly.
Get high.
To not have a need for the drug, to be satisfied with your life, and to understand your existence.
Happiness.
Right.
In a way where the drug becomes obsolete.
Unnecessary.
Happiness. We said many times, the Jew walks around with a sad face. There's no bigger chilul Hashem than that. It's a chilul Hashem. It's a walking around with a sign, Hashem sucks. That's what he's saying. Why are you sad, bro? You're supposed to be the son of Hashem, and you're walking around looking like this. What are you saying to everybody? That the king, he doesn't know what he's doing.
They're going to tell you they're going through their own personal struggles.
No problem. Come to Hashem. Why go to Bud? Did you go to Hashem first? But
people don't know how.
That's what I'm saying. We have to learn. That's what I'm saying. We have to take the Garden of Emuna, take the in Forest Hills, take the Garden of Gratitude, and we have to learn all of those. Especially if a person who's going through something, especially a person. That's the way. Like I told you, that guy got out of his Hashem, just help me get high without the bud, and that's where he went. And ever since then, it's been a different story, and he's not the only one. I know many.
Rabbi Moshe, but sorry for cutting off. You know what it is? Those people who go through that situation, if you speak to them, they say, "Oh, I went to Hashem. He didn't answer my prayers."
Good point.
So so good. We have to.
If Hashem wanted me out of it, He would never put me on it.
We have to teach.
It becomes the blame game.
Hashem
didn't put you, the person. It becomes the blame game.
You're asking very good, and that's what everything in that book, what it discusses, everything you just said, how to get your prayers answered, how to talk to Hashem, how to view the situation to begin with. It's about education. We have to go to the source. We have to give them happiness. Happiness is what they're looking for, and there's nothing wrong with that. But whenever you're looking for in the wrong places, you're going to end up in the wrong places. Mm-hmm. So that so we have to. If the purpose of this podcast is to educate, and we're having this discussion in order to help the people, then it's not enough that we have the Tefillin project, right? Beautiful. Let's start the Emuna project. You know, yeah. You know, listen. How many tefillins have you guys given out already?
A lot.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah. Baruch Hashem. Now think about how many garlands we could give out. You know, once upon a time it was a little bit easier because there was CD players in everyone's car. Nowadays we don't have that, so we don't have the gift of giving CDs. But maybe we have to figure something out. You know, I was talking to a dear friend of mine. We were trying to put up a, you know, like a
You make a flash drive.
make a flash drive, but also like make an app. You know, with specifically those shiurim.
So, Rabbi, let's say, God willing, somebody's watching this podcast and they're like, you know, I have a problem and I need help. What would you suggest to be their first step to
So you're
getting?
saying someone who's already addicted. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was. Well, hopefully the people who have never done drugs will never touch it.
Well, hopefully after seeing this podcast, they'll understand that they should run away.
Yes,
but that's
people,
a much
let's say a
deeper
person
problem.
who is addicted and he has a problem, and what should be his first step to getting help?
So if he's coming to you for help, that means he realizes he has a problem, and it's already the first step, right? You know, actually, you know, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, they have a 12-step guide. And I would love if we have it, you know, to read it with you. Everything is about Hashem over there, and we can use that 12-step guide to overcome not just any drug, but because over there it's mainly used for alcohol, but which by the way, in a way, it's the worst out of all of them.
Why is that?
Alcoholism is more addictive than heroin. And it's more accessible than any other drug on the planet because you're in a Muslim country. You know, it's the most accessible drug on the planet. You know, every 7-Eleven, every bodega, every deli. You know what I mean? You could buy beer. You could buy 200 beers. No one's going to stop you. You know, and it's a big problem. And alcoholism is a big problem. And
you're so right. Here, I gotta read this.
Yeah, you gotta
We
read this.
admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unimaginable.
which is first admitting, right?
Yeah.
So if he's coming to you to talk to you about a problem, he's admitting he has a problem, which is boom, step one, he's already got it already.
Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. God, yeah.
They can't say God because you're not talking to a religious group of people.
But
Since we can't say God because we're also a government-funded organization, right? Power greater than
No, but look,
us.
they say God. Look, number 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him.
Oh, so they say God.
Yeah,
as we understood.
As you understood. Him.
Made
Right.
a
Which means
search.
the only cure to addiction
Is God.
Is God.
Yeah, look
Emuna.
at these 12. It's
Look
great.
what it
Made a
says.
searching and fearless moral inventory of
It's from a
ourselves.
secular source.
Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character.
So hold on. If an atheist is an alcoholic, is he doomed?
No, he's not. Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Look, this is from the AA website. This is
That's
from
how he became
Alcoholics
alcoholic.
These are all God. Look, God.
Everything is God over there.
Yeah,
And I saw that Ratorsky also says, who was a very famous psychiatrist, a therapist.
He helped me a lot. Yeah, I used to
And-
watch him all the time.
Yeah, and I also heard this from him also, that not just drugs, but any bad midah that you have that you're working on, if you just use you read the 12-step guide, and instead of the word alcohol, you put in your bad midah or your drug or whatever it is, and you come to Hashem with all those things, you're guaranteed that you could escape that problem.
I think a Jew created it. All jokes aside.
It has to be. It has to be.
It's all
because
God.
You can't get
It's
that
literally all
anywhere
God,
else.
yeah.
So this is it.
Number 12, look at this. Having a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs.
They basically took a Musar book,
Yeah.
rebranded it as Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
12 points.
Yeah, that's what
Everything
it is.
created a
That's what it
nonprofit.
is. So again, maybe that's a new project. Just print the 12 steps, which is cost nothing. You know what I mean? And to put it as stickers, on every traffic light, on every instead of cash for cars. You know what I mean?
We're gonna start with the restaurants open till 12 and 1.
Yeah, yes. Stand there, hand them out. And instead of alcohol, you will write in brackets. Drug
Insert
of
here.
choice. Yeah, insert here.
Insert
right.
drug.
Insert your problem here, and we could cure the world.
Honestly, I think personally, if you had like a hotline number specifically for the community, where it's like, let's say if it's you, example, someone calls you 1 in the morning.
He's busy enough.
Yeah, he doesn't have it.
We have that hotline already. It's 516.
You know how there's rabbinim who what's it called, the Shalom Bayit rabbinim? You go to their office and there's 47 couples waiting to speak to one rabbi.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah.
People call. Seriously.
No,
I'm just saying.
he's everywhere.
Sometimes I get.
There should be like a link, not your number, like a link where it's like, hey, my name is this, I need your help, can we meet?
Can I ask you a question?
WhatsApp.
You know what I'm saying?
How many people on average a week come to you with drug issues? Drug-related issues?
So again, most of the people that are in the drug issues, they're not in a place where they even want to stop yet. And they realize they have maybe they realize they have a problem, but you have to you have to be ready to want to stop. Like that guy said, Hashem, I love getting high, but I don't love that I love getting high. I think that's an important step right there. You know what I mean? It's one thing that you love getting high, but I don't love that I love getting high. I think that's an important thing, and a lot of people aren't there yet. Sadly, for some people, only whenever they hit rock bottom, they wake up. Problem with weed, for example, which in a way, the worst drug, is because most heroin addicts know they have a problem. Most cocaine addicts know they have a problem. Most alcoholics know they have a problem. Your average pothead doesn't think he has a problem.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest problem, is that you don't think you have a problem.
That's true.
And then how can you get out of it? If the first step is admitting you have a problem, it becomes hard to get out of. It's very scary.
You know what? A lot of these potheads or smokers, you know what they say? The infamous line: "You can't OD from weed." That's the infamous line that they say.
Right?
Technically, yeah, but it's like maybe it's because they look at in terms of category of drugs that weed is the less effective,
right.
one.
So the thing is that it's true physically, maybe not, but I think soul-wise, it's the most. It kills.
Kills your productivity. It kills.
It kills your motivation.
Motivation, for sure.
And
yes,
I think
yes.
a person's soul and his motivation in life is
his energy, right? That's a spark, and then you're just dimming it.
Yeah, very, very, very much connected. That's your she'ifa. It's called, your aspirations. You know what I mean? So if you take away a person's aspirations, and they start losing those aspirations, and they start becoming more like fluffy, fake, fantasy type of aspirations, nothing grounded in reality. And as a result of which, so it's in a way, it's like they're killing their soul.
Wow.
And in a way, maybe the other drugs kill the body, but I feel like this kills the soul. If it kills your aspirations in life and your motivations in life, then
you don't want to wake up.
It makes perfect sense, because we said it makes them sleepy and hungry, which are physical things. It's basically connecting them deeper to their body and disconnecting them more from their soul.
Yeah.
Because the body wants to sleep.
Right.
The body wants to eat.
All physical, right. How to be more dead.
Exactly.
Or more physical, more I saw in Robert Arush brings down to that there's this demon in THC, and when a person inhaled it, the reason they feel not grounded, he said not in control, there's a certain that demon possesses them, and it makes sense because if you were to imagine a demon, he usually has red eyes, and the gremlin, the Minivan honeycomb, he's stuffing his face with it, you know what I mean? But then so you become that demon, and that's why they're eating and their eyes are red and they're bugging and they're wilding and so you see it, and whenever if something possessed you, that is in a way a death of your neshama to a certain degree, because something else has taken over. Before it was your neshama that took over, and now your neshama is not there, and that's if that's not death, I don't know what is.
Okay, so I think we've said a lot, and I want to say thank you. That was you've opened my eyes really to a whole new perspective to this topic, because me personally, when I hear people doing this, I'm like, you got to be dumb to do this. But now, when you said what you said, I realized there's much more involved. Like, these people are going through things, and that's why they're there. Like, it's no one wants to be in that situation. So it's like I said from the beginning, it's a sensitive topic. It's a problem, and I really appreciate you coming here and enlightening us all with that. Giving us your time.
For anyone in it now, the help is there. Right. There are solutions.
1-800-RAV-MOSHE.
You're gonna have to work on it. Take a look in the mirror, look at yourself, and the 12 steps.
Yeah.
But for anyone who hasn't tried anything, don't. That really just cut it at the source. Don't.
Let's save.
Because then you're gonna end up in that situation.
Just say no to drugs, man.
Addiction is bad.
Just say
no to drugs.
All types.
Everyone should pick up who has a problem should read Marijuana and Halacha. There's another one that's came out, Marijuana and Psychedelics. And in Halacha, it's important because now psychedelics is also becoming a situation.
This is the mushroom ones?
Yeah, certain shrooms or whatever, the ibogaine and I don't know the names of all of them, Baruch Hashem. Ayahuasca, another one. And there are, places that do this clinically, even rabbinical figures are, there is a place for that. But I would suggest it in
I wouldn't suggest it to anybody unless you first read, marijuana and halacha, and the other one, marijuana and psychedelics. But also, you read the 12-step guide from the Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a free app anyone could download on their phone. They could be sitting in the bathroom, they could do, anyone could read in the comfort of their own home, and reading Garden of Emuna, and not just Garden, but the duties of the heart, and of the books that talk about Musar, Emuna. And if we get those books into our system, into our neshamas, it'll make all the bad fall off. As we said earlier, a lot of it has to do with the music that we listen to and the environments that we're involved with. Whenever we learn Musar and we see, it's easier to differentiate between good and evil. Whenever you're learning, the difference between good and evil. So in these Sfarim that talk about this, it's clearly outlined, and you're able to see this is good, this is not good, this is good, this is not good, and it makes it helps you create a filter where you filter out all those bad things little by little as you go along, and you're able to become a more productive person for yourself, for your family, but mainly for yourself, which is what it's all about.
Did you want to say some story that?
Yeah, so there's this one story with me and Rav Moshe. I want to say it because it has nothing to do with the topic, but I think it's so interesting how he changed such an opinion that I had, and I hope that's what you're going to do for the viewers today. So the first shul that I ever went to, Bet Tama on 63rd, Rav Moshe was the basic rabbi there, right? They relied you on everything. So one day,
Cohen used to teach you?
Yeah, one day, Saturday morning, I'm there, and I'm one of the few young guys there. Danny wouldn't come yet; he's too busy sleeping, But I'm there. Yeah, cut that part out. I'm sitting there in the morning, and the thing is, Moshe doesn't speak Russian. He understands Russian. He says here words, but these people are Baharian. So in order to get to them, he has to speak in Farsi. So for them to understand the English is not, they're old. Mm-hmm. So he's speaking to them in Farsi. I have no idea what he's talking about. So I'm in the back, I'm just sitting there, and this is when I just started going to shul and started picking up on religion. I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, and I randomly, this thought come into my head about public school. How I was in public school, I'm like, you know what? And I didn't have a family yet. I was like, it's okay if my kids are going to go to public school. They don't use yeshivas. Yeshivas have very bad education. This is all in my head. I'm not talking, I'm just all in my head.
Preconceived notions.
Yeah, I'm just I'm feeling guilty about it, but I'm like, my kids are going to go to public school. It's okay, there's that. And then out of nowhere, he's talking in Farsi. I'm completely ignoring him. And then out of nowhere, he's like, no public school. Imagine, I just sitting there thinking about all these things, and then he just no public school. I look up and I'm like, what? I was sitting here for the past 20 minutes telling myself how I'm gonna send my kids to public school, and then he just out of nowhere screams no public school.
The only words I said in English during the entire
sucked it out of you.
And then I started listening to what he's saying, and then he started saying just also because he got my attention. So then he started dropping some English in there, and then that was the day I told myself, okay, that's a sign from God that clearly I have to send my kids to yeshivas, not public school.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was just
one of the first times I met Rav Moshe was about
Storytime with Rav Moshe. I love
real quick. It was 175. I think I was in high school at that time. I was with a few of my close friends that you know very well, and I think he had a minivan at that time. I don't remember. He pulls up out of nowhere. Like we're on the, where the Hamilton Court's 175?
Yeah.
We're on the outside. One of my friends is taking out a piece of gum. Trident gum, not kosher gum. He pulls up out of nowhere. Yo, homie, I'll give you 20 beans to drop that gum right now. He goes, I'll give you $20 to drop that right now. He goes, you want gum? Here's $20. Go buy kosher gum.
Go buy 20 kosher gums.
And then he didn't only offer to one person, he starts offering to everybody.
$20?
Yeah, I go up to him like, Moshe, $20. The gum costs $2. He goes, doesn't matter. He goes, that's 20 mitzvahs he's gonna do it. And what attracted me is that the fact that a person who looks the way he looks, he came and he spoke to the youth the way in the slang that they talk to. Straight, he goes, yo, homie, what you doing, bro? He goes, don't drop that, bro. He goes, he goes, here's 20 beans, get out of here, bro.
You gotta speak on their level, man.
And
you get to them.
I kid you not, it doesn't work for everybody. If Rabbi Kleinman does that, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, And my friends, Sraza with the hugs, Rav Moshe, this, that. It's like they understood him right away. You get what I'm saying?
He always
He's
used to
the love
say-
approach.
He always used to tell me, Mike, I want a Lamborghini. I want that Porsche, but not because I want to drive in it and look cool. I want to just pick up people from Forest Hills High School, the Baharians and the
Get their
Jews,
attention.
and I want to get their attention and bring them to a shul.
Yeah.
He's like, that's
Pull
why
up
I
in the
want the
Lambo,
car.
bring them to
Yeah,
Jimmy.
he's like, that's why I want the car. He said, I don't care about what it looks like. I care what they think it looks like, because I want to bring them to Bet Gavriel, which is right there. And I remember during COVID, we in Bet Gavriel, we used to meet after when everything things lifted. The amount of students he had from Forest Hills walking down the block, going to Bet Gav, and he was there teaching these kids, giving them food. These are glad kosher. He's like, Mike, I need them to eat this food. I need them to filter out the crap they're eating over there. Sorry for my language. And I need them to eat this food, and I'm gonna shove Torah in there.
I would cut class in Hills. There were mornings where I missed to fill in here. I'm like, you know what? I would cut class. I'm like, let me go strap up real quick, right?
Strap up.
Strap up.
That's what you guys call it?
Yeah, strap up. Yeah.
That's actually what he used to call
Yeah,
it.
you got strapped today?
He goes, you got strapped today and not like that. You know?
Hey, yo.
So
the guy.
I would go, and God bless, Lamana Chai, Rabbi Kleiman, it was never just a 5-minute in that type of situation, because it's 45 minutes, I have to go back to class. By the time I walk down, I see like 10 people dap them up, go inside. I gotta pray real quick, and it's the morning. I go, I get it to fill in, and sometimes I think he was teaching in some classes there, and I would see these kids, honestly, they would bug out, like they would go crazy, like, they were troubled kids. Mm-hmm. Whether it was to him, to Rabbi Kleiman, and it's like they had such a patience, and it's like, you can yell at me now, but tomorrow you'll understand. If that was me, I would shoot hands at all of them. Right away, I would shoot hands.
Just like you remember these stories, all of them remember those stories, and you don't know how much those drops are affecting them now, 10, 20 years later.
One student came up to Rabbi Kleiman, I'll never forget this. Rabbi, can I go home early today? My head hurts. He's giving a class. He doesn't look, he grabs to him, read page 16, you'll feel better. He goes, read page 16, you'll feel better. He goes, Rabbi, I read the whole book, read it again. It's like the answers that they give, it's not giving up answers. It's like, okay, go home, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like,
it takes a special kind of person.
Yeah.
God bless you guys.
We believe in them, and we believe in the goodness of every person, and we just try to bring it out. Everyone
The community is blessed to have someone like you who cares so much about
No, he really
the
cares
young
about
people.
everybody. He really does.
And, again, God bless you. I hope you continue enlightening people, teaching them the side of love. I feel like love and hugs are your favorite words.
Every time he
Which is
calls
awesome.
me, I love you. I love you. I love you. I said bye already 5 times. He's still telling me I love you.
I believe him. He's good. Again,
Moshe, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for giving us your wisdom. May you continue blessing people, and may you continue spreading the love that Hashem has for all of us.
I just want you to know that I